why.
Sir,
Yeah.
I have no disagreement with all this.
Yes.
Okay, my disagreement is
Yeah.
the ruling party is trying to amend our constitution based on Manusmriti. And in this context, we all are scared. And in this context, I am also remember the wordings of Baba Saheb. And he also relinquished Hindu religion. Why? He have long sight. He know how to become India. India will become the hands of these dangerous people. And nowadays, in our India and our constitution itself, in the hands of some dangerous groups. That's why we are afraid. And me and some other groups and some other politics who are concerned about this situation. And you know, in POXO, after the uh, introduction of this POXO Act, most of the accused belonging to tribal community and also Muslim community. But what is the reality? Many other, most of the real accused persons are belonging to upper caste and elite groups. And but the reality is that the underprivileged sections are arrested in fake charges, and sometimes they have their own culture and early marriage, and that people's having a good relation between the spouse, and after the imprisonment of the accused, the spouse become, and so sorry, the spouse become sex worker. And it is a some of the IAS or IPS officers suggest the police officers to don't arrest tribal people. That is their culture, and that is their practice of their religion. And some collectors in Wayanad itself do that. But we all, in after the implementation of this uniform civil code, we are afraid of these types of problems will happen. And in the name of uniform civil code, these persons belonging to these oppressed sections in their own culture and their own practices maybe arrested and imprisoned, and their family, and so many social impacts will happen. That's also, it's also we have some data from different states. And what is your opinion about this?
That is what I was saying. See, if these type of concerns, you must put it in writing and give it as a submission to the law commission. Say that these are the data from different parts of the country, and there are some special sections who have not come to the mainstream so far, and they have got a particular culture where they are like getting their children married off, or it is not considered a crime. So whether the uniform civil code is going to infringe their special culture and they are going to be treated like a criminal. That is a real concern. You can address these issues to the law commission. First thing. Secondly, we must see from another angle. Now the constitution has guaranteed now by virtue of an amendment right to free education in the childhood up to 14 years of age.
14 years.
It has become a fundamental right.
Yeah.
So you have to give that education whether you are from a very distant part of the country, if you are an Adivasi or a tribe and whatever, and a girl or a boy, they are all entitled, and this is a fundamental right. So ultimate aim is to give that education, give that rights, and treat them as equal, and all these entitlement are there for every section of society. What was happening is there that should be addressed, and they should go slowly. On POXO, again I will come to that question. One thing is on this sections who are marginalized and who are living in hilly areas or tribals and all that, you should have a specific mechanism to address that issue. They should be educated, and they should be made aware of their rights, especially about their bodily autonomy, and the girls, once they get education, they will say that okay, we want to study more, and then we would like to marry a little late, and all those things that will happen gradually. And simultaneously, in some this issue is real because in 4 different high courts, some POXO cases have come up where the Muslim girls were married to men of their mainly Muslims only, but the women were like the girls were below the age of 18. They have attained puberty. The 4 different high courts held that under Muslim personal law, this is possible. So therefore, the POXO will not be applicable. But in Kerala High Court, Justice Bechu Kurian Thomas passed an order denying bail, saying that merely because the girl belongs to Islam doesn't mean that she doesn't have that right. She is also like a child, and this POXO is applicable to everybody, irrespective of religion. In my opinion, that judgment is correct because you are not dealing with somebody who is not aware of the rights, like somebody who is the cutoff from the mainstream, or those who are not having the benefits of education. They are living in the mainstream, they are having the benefit of education, and they are having this constitution in front of them. Constitution guarantee is there. And there was an interview by Barkha Datta in Mojo Stories, and many children, like girls, were very happy. They said like, we never wanted to marry at this age, young age, and we are very happy that now because of this judgment, if our parents are compelled to wait for at least some more years, like at least till we attain the age of 18, we can study up to that time, and then we can gradually come out and go for a job and all that. If this is the purpose, then it is welcome. See, whoever is bringing this, I share many of your concerns, like who is in power and what is their intention. Those are real concerns for many people. But when it is a provision in the constitution, what I am saying is, it is very difficult to challenge when you go to a court. So our concerns should be real, and it should be at this stage we have got a chance to tell the law commission that these concerns should be addressed. And when the real UCC comes, Uniform Civil Code comes, we will see how, in which form it is coming. Suppose some provisions in that code is infringing a fundamental right, then of course you can go to the court and say that this provision is unconstitutional or it is against the constitutional guarantee. Then court can come to your help. But you cannot oppose the idea, because this idea envisaged by visionaries like Baba Saheb and Nehru and Hansa Mehta and all the framers of our constitution, and which was embodied, till now it was not implemented. And the Supreme Court also many times, whenever the cases came up, all those cases were.
Sir, we know you are already share some points, and I am also based on that some of my concerns. And India is a country multilinguistic, multicultural, multi-religious, and Indian Constitution Part 3 itself guarantees religious rights. And after implementation of Uniform Civil Code, it will lost. That is my concern. And here, so many international conventions, covenants, and all these definitely try to implement uniform law to the citizens, subjects of every nation. But at the same time, the situation in India is too different. And the ruling party trying to become India into a one nation, one religion, one party, one government. And in this time, this concern of the negatives of Uniform Civil Code will continue.
That fear, somebody, Ramachandra Guha used to say, Hindi, Hindu, Hindutva. That type of one nation, one language, one culture. If that is the idea, then we can oppose. But if this concerns are not real, suppose every people who belong to different religions, they have got all the rights to perform their religious rites. They can go to a temple, to a church, to a mosque, and perform whatever rituals they want. they can do whatever rituals they are following now, even after coming into force of Uniform Civil Code. The only condition will be that thereafter you have to register. Like in a Special Marriage Act, two people have to register for marriage and say that these are the conditions. Some secular laws guaranteeing equality for all the citizens, irrespective of whichever religion, caste, or whichever group you belong to. You have to agree, like, okay, we are married and these are the conditions. So then there will be a right to adopt, whether you belong to whichever religion. There will be a right to divorce, and that should be it should be gender equal. Whether
Gender
if
neutral.
man is having a right to divorce his wife under so and so conditions, wife should also have a right to divorce the husband on account of cruelty or irretrievable breakdown of marriage. Those grounds should be uniformly applicable to all citizens. So if it is to ensure uniform rights, not to take away the existing rights, but to ensure certain rights to every citizen, irrespective of religion or caste or any other criteria, then I think we should welcome, irrespective of the fact that whoever is bringing it. Because when we oppose real issues, when we oppose the government on real issues, if they are bringing in something and the benefit is going to come to downtrodden or to women, then we should welcome it also. Then only it will become a constructive opposition. If you are opposing also, we should oppose which is really going to hurt us, and the effect, suppose the effect is going to be good for women or good for everybody, good for people belonging to different religions, then we should welcome it. Because if you go to court also, ultimately what we can do, if suppose they are bringing it, they have got majority and they are bringing it, then what is our remedy? We have to go to court, and court also will interfere only if it is against the constitutional guarantee. Constitution has guaranteed certain rights, and the Uniform Civil Code is part of the constitution, and if it is brought, usually court will tend to uphold what law is brought in furtherance of the directive principles of state policy, provided that law should not infringe on the existing fundamental rights. So that is my opinion. Let us see. I think we should wait for a blueprint, or we should wait and see how it is evolving, whether they are actually inclined to bring in, or just saying like we are going to bring in and then creating that type of confusion in the minds of many people. We don't know. If they are really bringing in, and if it is going to be some provision is not acceptable to us, then we have got an option. Till now it is a democracy, so that we have got an option to say that we don't agree to this. The rest of the sections, if that is good for us, then we can welcome it. It's subject to so and so, and then it should be like issue based support or issue based opposition. I think that will be a constructive approach.
The Dalits, tribals everywhere attacked, and caste-based discrimination everywhere, and in public employment also many discriminations and untouchability, including Muslim religion too. Dalit Pashmada movement nowadays, they have also doing they are demanding their rights, and in this matter government do nothing, or state do no initiative. And if the objective of the UGC is true, then first of all they will do something for the discrimination against Dalits and other minority sections, but they never do. They are supporting the caste people, and they are supporting the oppressor. They are always protecting these oppressors. That's why our fear continuing.
No, wherever there is oppression, we should fight. We are citizens, equally responsible, because government is elected by all of us only. People have got power. Like American President John F. Kennedy said, you ask what you can do instead of asking what the government will do. We are there, like we are responsible citizens. If we unite against discriminatory practices, then naturally, like that farmers protest, it has succeeded. That is a very good instance of how the government is made to hear a voice by the people, and that type of things will happen provided our cause should be genuine, and we should address that. We should stand up for that cause, non-violent protest, and that we should stick to it wherever that is there. But on, like, my this thing is that uniform civil code as such, the principle, it is not about all these things. It is about it was original intent of incorporating UCC into the constitution was to address gender inequality and other discriminatory practices. If the uniform civil code which is planned to be brought in is for that purpose, then we should accept it. The rest of the things, whatever fears you are having, that you are there like a responsible citizen, the others who are listening and those who follow the path of Baba Saheb Ambedkar, we should follow the path of constitutional methods of protest, constitutional methods of the making our voice heard. So then the government will succumb to our demands, just demands, and then our endeavor should be to enhance the values enshrined in the constitution and to see that everybody is equally treated. It is not from the government alone, it is from us, from each one of us. We are all citizens equally in a participatory democracy. We are all having that rights. We should recognize that right and we should raise our voice.
We have also duty to protect our constitution itself.
And that is only if you are liberty, if you want to have the liberty, then you should be awake. You should always be awake to the realities and protest whenever it is required, and then be a responsible citizen.
And so we salute the contribution of constitutional makers, constitutional framers, and especially Baba Saheb Ambedkar and Nehru, and they all contribute to the uniform civil code, the concept of uniform civil code, and we all in the side of equality. We all need, we the people, including Dalits, tribals and minorities, all are equal. If we are scared, that's why we are opposing the introduction of UCC in this time. But at the same time, I respect, sir, your concern, your contributions, but the only difference is this is not the right time. Thank you, and Jai Bhim.
Jai Bhim.